Tonight's the last night, so it's gonna be cold and it's gonna be rough because we're not gonna be able to come here for dinner, and we're gonna have to like find our own food and then find a place to sleep without getting thrown out or something. It's really gonna suck.
I think that BHI has given people in our community hope that they're not forgotten, that somebody cares. I think that when people are struggling with having their basic needs met, to have some place that they can come and be safe and warm and welcomed. And sometimes when people are in that dire of a situation, even just not knowing where you're going to eat that day and somebody gives you food, that provides a little bit of hope and makes them think, okay, I can get through today, and helps them to think about the next step of where they're going.
Since this is the last night, I am worried about my friends, myself, what they're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing, if we have food, if we don't have food, if we have a place to stay during the night.
It's like losing a close friend or some kind of surrogate family member. You even in a short time of being here, like knowing they had it before I even came was huge. So then getting here and experiencing it and seeing that, for what they do, it makes you feel so good.
BHI opening its doors from November 1st to March 31st was a huge accomplishment and a huge step in the right direction for our community. We were excited to offer that service to people in need last winter. However, as we face the shelter closing this season, it really calls into question what more we can do in our community. So right now, BHI is working to track the inquiries for overnight and emergency shelter in the off season. And we're working to raise funding and raise support so that we can have the shelter go year round.
Multiple things go through your head during the day when you know that this is actually the last day of the cold weather shelter. We were stressing about it all day, and we honestly don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, it sucks to think to leave it, but if it's closing, it's closing. So we can't stop that. But if they had a means, if there was a means to have it longer, I wouldn't think twice about trying to stay.
There's a variety of different circumstances that bring people through our doors. It can be anything from the death of a family member to the loss of a job, to needing medication that's too expensive to afford, or the loss of medical insurance. They might be homeless today, but 6 months ago, they were the young family renting the house next door that they couldn't afford. And something happened to make it to where they couldn't afford it anymore, and now they're in this situation. And that's why BHI is here, because we need to have resource, we need to have a community-wide, concentrated effort, a place that people can come to help address the issues that they're facing, to help them become stable and stay in permanent housing.
I used to think that I was never gonna hit rock bottom, but when I did hit rock bottom, it was then when I realized that rock bottom actually has a basement, But once you're down there, you can only go out. So, it's gonna suck without the shelter being open. My brother doesn't want to help me in any way. I have a few friends that, maybe I could stay on their couch maybe 1 or 2 nights max, but I don't want to be on the streets the rest of my life. I've done that most of my life as it is, and I just want to have a home, a family, and just start over.
At this point, the shelter's been closed a couple of months, and I know that the last night that we were open, there were several guests, and they don't just magically have a house the next day. And one of the reasons that we really believe we need shelter year-round, long-term shelter, is because those we know that last night don't have anywhere to go, and who knows how many others are out there in the same situation.
Our greatest need right now is still financial support. It's key as we try to expand our online presence, as we try to build up a reserve of volunteers and supporters in our community, and as we try to secure funding to hire staff instead of volunteers and improve the services that we're offering through the shelter. The communities in Butler County are made up mostly of Christians. I think that our success or our failure in addressing this issue within this community is going to speak volumes about what kind of a community we are and what kind of community we aspire to be. I think that the Bible verse Matthew 25:43 through 45 does a great job telling us why we should all care about this issue. I was a stranger and you did not take me in. I was naked and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison and you did not visit me. And they reply, Lord, when did we see you hungry and thirsty, naked, sick, or in prison, and we did not minister to you? Then the king will answer, truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me.